All right, everyone, let's find out how our book ends. Let's see, they just gave the coin to the emperor, and he was realizing it was a coin from the future. So let's see what happens. From the future, said Jack. He and Annie looked at each other. How could that be? That's amazing, Annie said to the emperor. Unbelievable, said Jack. I do not understand, said the emperor. Is this a sign from the gods? A gift from Mars? Perhaps it means that the legion should confront the enemy on the frozen Danube and take them back by surprise and stop their invasion. Sounds like a good plan to me, said Jack. It does, said Annie. The emperor looked at them with wonder. I do not know what to say to you, he said. I would like to talk further about your country, your tribe. Perhaps you can stay a while with the legion. I feel like you have so much to teach me. Oh, I'm afraid we can't. We have a family back home. We really need to be home by moonrise, said Jack. Ah, said the emperor, I understand. But I'm sorry to hear that. The moon rises early in winter. The centurion Junius entered the tent. My lord Aurelius, the warriors are waiting. Shall I cancel the parade? Of course not, said the emperor. My honored guests, Jack and Annie, will march with you. We will? Oh, no, thought Jack. Wait here, the emperor said to Jack and Annie. He stepped outside to talk with Junius. Oh gosh, I hope he doesn't want to carry a shield. I hope he doesn't want us to carry shields and weapons, Jack said to Annie. Yeah, or wear armor, said Annie. No way, said Jack. We need an excuse. The emperor returned. Go with Junius, he said. He will show you what to do. Oh, said Jack, but before he could think of an excuse, Junius beckoned for him and Annie to follow. The centurion led them out of the tent, and they silently walked with him back to the parade line. Jack's heart raced. Oh, we can't march, he thought. We're too small. We're not strong enough. At the field, the legion was standing in formation, waiting for the order to march. Junius walked over to the standard bearer and flag bearer. He turned to Jack and Annie. The emperor has ordered that the two of you shall carry the eagle standard and the flag. Which of you wishes to carry the standard? He said. Oh man, thought Jack. He knew this was the highest honor a Roman warrior could have. You should carry it, he said to Annie. No, you, she said. You deserve it more, said Jack. He looked at the centurion. Annie is very brave, and she never loses hope. The standard bearer handed the eagle standard to Annie. Wow, thanks, said Annie. And she held the pole high and she smiled. The gold eagle's wings shone in the cold sunlight. The flag bearer handed Jack the flagpole. Jack raised it beside the eagle standard. The red flag with the ram flapped in the winter wind. And there they are. There's Annie holding the eagle and Jack holding the flag. Good thing they didn't have to put on all that armor, huh? Trumpet sounded. You are to lead the legion once around the field, Junius said to Jack and Annie. All the soldiers will follow you. March! Jack and Annie marched around the field with all of Legion Gemina 14 following them. Annie carried the eagle standard. Jack carried the red flag with the ram. They were followed by trumpet players, who were followed by centurions, who were followed by thousands and thousands of Roman warriors. Jack and Annie returned to the emperor. They gave the standard and the flag to Junius. Well done, said Emperor Aurelius. I know that you must leave us now. I will ride with you as far as the riverbank. The emperor gestured to a warrior standing beside a beautiful white horse. The horse had a red blanket draped over its back. The warrior led the horse to Jack and Annie, who helped them climb on. Jack took the reins. Emperor Aurelius mounted his black horse. As both horses started toward the gate, Jack gripped the reins and Annie held on to Jack. The white horse carried them down the main road past the armory, past the rows of barracks, and out through the front gate of the Roman legion camp. And that takes us to our last chapter, chapter 10, Hail Home! Not far from the Danube River, the emperor dismounted. He helped Jack and Annie down from the white horse. Thank you for letting me carry the eagle, my lord Aurelius, said Annie. Oh, you need not call me that outside the camp. You can just call me Marcus. Thanks for helping us, Marcus, said Jack. You're welcome, said Marcus. I hope you learned about the Roman legion today. We did, said Jack. You guys are amazing, said Annie. We wrote down a lot in our journals. The emperor smiled. Good. I can tell few people this, but I do keep a journal myself. Really? Said Annie. What sort of things do you write in it? Marcus paused for a moment. Perhaps I will share some of my thoughts with you, he said. He pulled his journal from his saddlebag and he read, Dwell on the beauty of life, watch the stars, and see yourself running with them. Wow, that sounds like a poem, said Jack. I love it, said Annie. Then perhaps you will like this too, said Marcus. I have begun a list of small things that have special beauty for me. And he read from his journal again. These are the things I love: fresh bread, ripe figs, wheat bending in the field, the face of a lion, the beauty of old age in men and women, and the smell of wood smoke. Marcus looked at them almost shyly. Wow, that's an amazing list, Marcus, said Jack. It's a beautiful list, said Annie. Thank you, said Marcus, and he sighed. And here they are, standing near the frozen riverbank. And you can see the emperor, Jack and Annie, sharing his journal. And there's the horses, and they're outside of their the Roman camp. I must leave you now and don my emperor disguise again. There are battles still to be won. Good luck, Marcus, said Jack. The emperor mounted his black horse. Jack handed him the reins of the white horse. Farewell, my friend, said Marcus. I bid you safe travels. Thank you, said Jack. You should keep riding, Marcus, said Annie. Your journal's really good. The emperor smiled again, and he raised his hand. Then he turned and led the white horse back to the camp. Let's go, Jack said to Annie, and they hurried to the tree hidden with their treehouse. Look, said Annie, and she pointed up. Jack saw the golden eagle perched high on a branch. Hi there, he said. Then he and Annie climbed up the rope ladder, and they looked out the window together. They watched the emperor pass through the front gate into the camp. The eagle cried out from above and flew into the darkening winter sky. It's time for Marcus to be the ruler of the Roman Empire again, said Annie. Yep, said Jack. He took his tablet out of his pack and put it on the floor of the treehouse. It's time for us to be Frog Creek kids again. Right, said Annie. She set her tablet beside Jack's. We'll leave these for Morgan. She picked up the Pennsylvania book, and he pointed to a photo of Frog Creek woods. I wish we could go there, he said. The wind started to blow, and the treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Absolutely still. Hail home, said Jack. Pax, Annie said with a sigh. They were wearing their own clothes again, and the sun was rising over the woods, and birds were singing. I hope Morgan likes our notes, said Jack, glancing at the tablets on the floor. I think she will, said Annie. We should head home now and hop back into bed. Yep, said Jack. Let's pretend to wake up when Mom calls us for breakfast. Oh, I hope Dad makes blueberry pancakes, said Annie. They're the best in the world. Write it down, said Annie. They laughed, then climbed down the rope ladder and started through the woods. Jack felt a chilly morning breeze. I'm glad we don't have to be Roman warriors, he said. Me too, said Annie. But you know what's weird? What? Besides traveling through time and space in a magical treehouse and spending the day in a Roman legion camp? Annie laughed. No, seriously, she said. It's weird that the most important Roman warrior of that time made a list of small things of beauty. Yeah, said Jack. It's not exactly what you'd expect. I think there might be wisdom that we were supposed to learn, said Annie. Right, said Jack. So what would you add to the list? Said Annie. Oh, maybe like, what else is beautiful? Sun rays slanting between the trees. Ooh, fiddlehead ferns, said Annie. Ooh, leaves dancing in the breeze, said Jack. Ooh, the sound a dove makes when it coos. Ooh, the eyes of an eagle, said Jack. They came out of the woods and headed down the sidewalk. Ooh, that black hiding in the bushes, said Annie. Oh, the Johnson's pug sitting on their porch. Hi, Pickles, Annie said in a loud whisper. Ooh, what about dandelions growing in a crack in the sidewalk, said Jack. When they got to their house, they climbed the steps, crept inside, and tiptoed upstairs. See ya, they whispered to each other, and they slipped into their rooms. Jack changed back into his pajamas. But before he got into bed, he grabbed one of his books about ancient Rome, and he looked in the index and found the word Marcus Aurelius. That was their emperor. He found that page, and he read about him. First, let's look at a picture of Jack and Annie walking home, trying to find beauty in everything they see outside. This is what the book said about Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor from 161 to 180. He was a skillful military leader, but he is best known as a deep thinker who sought truth and wisdom. He recorded his private thoughts in a journal called Meditations. The journal of Marcus Aurelius is still read more than 1,800 years after his death. Below the passage was a quote from Marcus Aurelius. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, and to love. No problem, whispered Jack. He smiled as he put the book back on the shelf. He climbed into bed, closed his eyes, and he waited for his mom to call him to breakfast. And that's the end of our book. Seeing if it was showing the next book. Let's see it. So I ordered the next book in the mail, number 32. Hopefully it'll be here. Amazon said it might get here Tuesday instead of Monday. So we'll see what happens. But I hope you enjoyed this book. I hope you have fun on your field day. I hope you had a good field day today and did some fun stuff. I love you, friends, and have a good weekend. Tell your mommies Happy Mother's Day and make sure you do something special for them on Sunday. Love you and miss you. Bye.